There are moments in documentary filmmaking where you discover something that changes how you understand an entire life. This is one of those moments. Behind every extraordinary person, there's usually a story that the public never sees. Jack LaLanne, the man we've been studying throughout this series, had a story like that. And it involves the one person who knew him better than anyone else on Earth. His wife, Elaine. For 70 years, Jack LaLanne woke up every morning at 3 a.m. to exercise. For 70 years, he maintained a disciplined routine that most people find incomprehensible. For 70 years, he pushed his body in ways that doctors said were impossible. But why? What drives a man to maintain such extraordinary discipline for 7 decades? The answer isn't what you'd expect. It's not about vanity. It's not about fame. It's not about proving something to the world. The answer is simpler, more profound, and far more human than any of that. Elaine LaLanne was Jack's wife for over 50 years. She was there from the beginning, watching him build his fitness philosophy, his television empire, his legendary body. And in rare interviews late in her life, she finally revealed the personal motivation that Jack kept private for decades, the motivation that drove everything. Let's start with how they met. It was 1936. Jack was 22 years old, already obsessed with fitness, already developing his philosophy about health and movement. Elaine was a young woman with her own life, her own interests. They met, and something clicked. Not just romantic attraction, a genuine partnership. Elaine saw in Jack not just a fit man, but a man on a mission. A man driven by something deeper than just personal ambition. What that deeper drive was, Jack never fully articulated publicly. He talked about health. He talked about helping people. He talked about proving that the human body could do remarkable things. But Elaine knew something else. She knew the real motivation. And she kept it private, out of respect for Jack, for decades. It wasn't until late in her life, after Jack had passed away, that Elaine began to share what she knew. In interviews with journalists and researchers interested in Jack's life, she opened up about the personal story that few people knew. According to Elaine, Jack's extraordinary commitment to health wasn't ultimately about himself. It was about ensuring that he would be healthy enough to be present for the people he loved for as long as possible. It was about longevity, not for his own sake, but for theirs. He wanted to be there. He wanted to be present. He wanted to live long enough to see the full arc of his life with Elaine and their family. This reframes everything. When you watch video footage of Jack exercising at 80 years old, doing a perfect handstand, pushing his body to limits that young people can't reach, you're not looking at a man trying to prove something to the world. You're looking at a man making a personal commitment to be present in his life, to have the vitality and health to participate fully in his relationships, to show up as a partner, as a family member, as a human being. Elaine also revealed something else. Jack was far more private than his public image suggested. Yes, he was on television. Yes, millions of people watched him. Yes, he influenced the fitness world profoundly. But at home, he was different. He was tender. He was thoughtful. He was focused on his family and his marriage in ways that the public never saw. They built a life together that was unconventional for its time. Elaine supported Jack's vision, but she also challenged him. She was his intellectual partner, not just his wife. She understood his philosophy intimately because they developed it together, debated it together, lived it together. One particular revelation from Elaine stands out. Jack, despite his public image as a man of iron discipline, had moments of doubt. There were times when maintaining his routine felt impossible. Times when he questioned whether it was worth it. Times when age and time wore on him. And in those moments, it was Elaine who reminded him why. Not for the public, not for the records, not for the legacy, but for the simple human reason: to be present, to be healthy, to be there for the people who loved him and depended on him. This is profoundly different from how we usually think about extreme discipline. We assume it comes from narcissism, from a man obsessed with himself, with his image, with proving something to the world. But Elaine's revelation suggests something else entirely. Jack's discipline came from love, from a commitment to the people in his life. In fact, Elaine revealed that Jack's dietary practices, his exercise routines, his emphasis on prevention over treatment, all of this was developed partly with family health in mind. He wanted to understand what the human body could do, how it could be optimized, how disease could be prevented, and he wanted to use that knowledge to help his family live longer, healthier lives. This is a subtle but important distinction. Jack wasn't just interested in his own health. He was interested in health as a platform for being present in his relationships. Health as a means to be a better partner, a better family member, a better human. Elaine also spoke about the sacrifice their marriage required. Jack's commitment to his routine meant early mornings. It meant he rarely drank alcohol, even socially. It meant he was disciplined about food in ways that could make normal social situations complicated. It meant his body and health were always a priority. And Elaine supported this. She understood that this wasn't selfishness on Jack's part. This was him making a choice about how he wanted to live, and he was inviting her to be part of that choice. They built a life around it. They made it work, not perfectly, but genuinely. She also revealed something about their intimate life. Even at advanced ages, their partnership remained physically intimate and emotionally connected. This surprised many people who assumed that Jack's discipline meant a somehow joyless or repressed intimate life. But Elaine made clear that it was the opposite. Jack's health, his vitality, his physical capability, all of this enhanced their intimate connection and their partnership. In one particularly moving interview, Elaine talked about watching Jack age. Even though he aged far more slowly than most people, even though at 90 he moved like someone half his age, she could still see the passage of time. And she spoke about how important it was to her that he maintained his health. Not because she needed him to be impressive or exceptional, but because she needed him to be present. She talked about doing things together, traveling, walking, physical activities that most 90-year-olds couldn't do. And she said that Jack's commitment to health made all of that possible. His discipline wasn't abstract. It had concrete, beautiful results in terms of their actual life together. This also contextualizes some of Jack's later life statements. In interviews when he was in his 80s and 90s, he would sometimes speak about longevity in terms of wanting to see his children grow, his grandchildren develop, his legacy continue. These weren't egotistical statements. They were expressions of love. A man who wanted to be there for the people in his life. Elaine's revelations also shed light on why Jack kept this motivation private. He was, by nature, private about emotional matters. He was willing to be public about fitness and health and his ideas about the human body. But his personal motivations, his emotional drivers, his love for his family, these were intimate. These were private. He didn't talk about these things publicly because, in his worldview, they were between him, Elaine, and the people in his life. The fitness advice was for the public. The personal motivation was for the people he loved. This distinction is important because it shows that Jack's extraordinary achievement wasn't built on some superhuman will or exceptional personality. It was built on love, on commitment to the people in his life, on a simple human desire to be present, to be healthy, to have the vitality to participate fully in life. And that, perhaps, is his most important message. Not about how to exercise or what to eat, but about why you do it. Not for external validation, not for records or achievement, but for the simple, profound reason of being present in your life and in the lives of people you love. Elaine lived into her 90s as well, outliving Jack by several years. In her final interviews, she spoke about missing him, but also about gratitude for their life together. She spoke about how his commitment to health wasn't selfish. It was generous. It gave her more time with him. It gave their family more time with a father and grandfather who was present, vital, engaged. She also spoke about legacy in personal terms. For her, Jack's legacy wasn't the television shows or the fitness revolution or the influence on millions of people. Those were important, but they were secondary. His real legacy, in her view, was the life they built together, the partnership they maintained, the example of what commitment and discipline in service of love looks like. This is what Jack never told the public. This is what his wife finally revealed. Behind the extraordinary fitness achievement, behind the record-breaking longevity, behind the influence on millions, there was a man who woke up every morning at 3:00 a.m. not to achieve greatness or to prove something to the world, but to be healthy enough to be there for the people he loved. And perhaps that's the most important insight of all. The greatest achievement isn't fitness or longevity or influence. It's being present. It's showing up. It's maintaining the vitality to participate fully in the life you're building with the people you love. Jack LaLanne proved that the human body can do extraordinary things, but his wife's revelation shows us that the reason to do those things, the real motivation, the real driver, isn't about the body at all. It's about the heart. It's about love. Now, if this personal revelation about Jack LaLanne's true motivation changed how you think about discipline and commitment, hit that like button. This story needs to reach people who are struggling with their own commitment to health and wellness. Show them that the motivation for discipline isn't narcissism, it's love. And if you want to hear more intimate stories from the lives of extraordinary people, subscribe and turn on notifications. Drop a comment below. What's your personal motivation for taking care of your health? Is it for yourself, or is it for the people you love and want to be present for? I read every comment and I want to hear your story. If you know someone struggling with consistency in their health journey, someone who feels guilty about prioritizing their health, someone who needs to understand that taking care of yourself is an act of love for the people in your life, share this video with them. Help them reframe their motivation. You could change how they think about their entire health journey. The next video reveals the truth about what happened in the final months before Jack LaLanne's death. The decisions he made, the acceptance he showed, and the last message he left for his followers. It's profound and it's touching. Link in the description and card appearing now. Behind every great life is a great love. Jack LaLanne showed us what a human body can do. His wife showed us why that matters.